I get into introducing the special guest and all that, I want to give a shout out to the big homie, the big brother Zoe Williams. He the one that mentored me into doing all this radio stuff. He's out there in around Hollywood, should we say. Tonight when my show ends, he'll be on 5150 show with Corey Holcomb, comedian guy. He's another big bro I got. Cool cats, man. He put me on the game, mentored me through this. He was the one that told me everyone wanted me to come back, so I did it. Plus I missed radio outside of the FBI messing with me. Shout out to them too. Want to introduce my new co-host to everyone. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, and you go ahead and start it off.
Hey, it's your boy Christopher J. I'm actually honored to be on this. You know, my big brother, my uncle, best friend, Mr. Choo-on-that, Mr. Smack Your Mother. You better not touch mine, though. You know? Other than that, I'm proud to be on the show.
Yeah.
Got a lot of things to look forward to. Prayerfully, everything to be informative, have some fun, you know what I'm saying, some laughs, and get to know everybody, whether you're calling in or just want to speak your mind.
Okay. And then we have a young lady. See, in all my radio shows, I've always had a female co-host. This one is different, though. This one is actually younger than me. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the world.
I'm Danny. I'm really excited to be on the show. I'm glad these two reached out to me. So I'm excited to learn and answer questions. So, yeah.
That's what's up. Now, I have a special guest. I want her to introduce herself real quick, and then I'm going to set up the show. Do I have my special guest on the line?
Yes, I'm here, Randy.
Nice. Introduce yourself to the public, to the world, so that they can know who you are and tell them where to follow you and all that good stuff.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Santana Rodriguez, and basically I'm a fitness personality. I have a television show called Shaping Up with Santana. It's obviously a fitness and exercise TV show. You can follow me on Instagram at Santana6. And then you can also check out the actual TV show website. And it's the same title, shapingupwithsantana.com. So you can find me either there or just follow me on Instagram.
Nice. And you said it's coming on Roku as well?
What's that?
You said your show's coming on Roku also?
Well, we've got a special surprise. And first of all, Randy, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm excited to actually be on. And we've got, you're actually the first that I'm actually announcing this to. So we are going to be on Roku. But, however, we are also currently on Amazon Fire. And we're also on Android. And we're also going to be showcased on Google Play under Media King, and then we're also going to be showcased on the iPhone as well. So we've got, realistically, a few different platforms, and the Roku is actually going to be televised in the next couple of days. So we're really excited about that.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, we used to be on the Beach Channel in Miami, Florida for the last couple of years. And now we just took this, tremendous leap over the edge, basically. And we're going to have, so many followers. And we're really excited about that.
Nice. That's I need to get myself together. I kind of got fat.
Don't worry about that, because there's always something you can do, and know that you don't have to live with that. There are things you can do. So that's an easy fix. That's not bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And what's important it's about getting yourself to where you're comfortable and where you individually want to be. So I just want to make sure that, it's not living up to anybody else's expectations except for yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I'm gorgeous myself. I'm a conceited fat boy,
Okay.
I think I'm a conceited fat boy.
Would you say conceited or are you confident?
Confident, I'll say that. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
that
yeah,
correction.
yeah.
With that, there's nothing wrong with that at all. So, it's always better to be confident than anything else, right?
Yeah, yeah. And for everyone,
Confidence. Uh-huh.
no, I was just saying for everyone listening. I know the sounds kind of staticky on your end. I'm trying to work out all the kinks now on the first show back, so everyone just bear with us. I don't know where the static's coming from because we're clear on our end. So, but by the way, let me give you a shout out for everything you're doing. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and give you a shout out real quick. Congratulate her on that. Yeah, yeah. Doing all that good stuff. That's
Thank you
what's
so
up.
much. Appreciate that.
So let me set up the show. Oh my goodness. So today's topic is loyalty versus destiny. And
Okay.
the reason why I chose this topic is because we're living in a time where everyone is trying to be the best them. Everyone wants to better themselves, study themselves, but at the same time, I feel like they're not being honest with themselves or the people around them. And I also feel like loyalty is a lost characteristics that humans need to get back. But
Right.
oh man, so loyalty and destiny, do they go hand in hand? Do they go against one another? Are they two faces on the same coin? By the way, if anyone wants to call in, the number to dial is 516-531-9828. Again, the number to dial is 516-531-9828. Loyalty so this is how I'm gonna set it up. Loyalty versus destiny. Christopher J, I'm gonna throw it to you first. Then I'm gonna go to Santana, and then I'm gonna go to Danny. That's the order we going. Talk to me. Loyalty and destiny. What comes to your mind when you think of that?
To be totally honest, I feel like loyalty is very comparable to work ethic. And what I say, I'll use maybe even a relationship as an example for loyalty. Like you find yourself remaining loyal to somebody, keep coming back to them, but that requires your work ethic to keep doing so. To be honest, they can be different from destiny, but I would like to say that they can go hand in hand. I mean, my perfect example would be, for me, when it comes to loyalty and destiny coming together, would be from my career. Like, I definitely feel like I'm destined to be the best barber in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now that I found that, I'm going to remain loyal to
Talk
it.
your talk, young man.
I'm going to remain loyal to it.
Yeah.
Because if I were to continue to be loyal to something that's not my destiny, I could easily go get a quick little interview at McDonald's and remain loyal to the food industry and work my way up the chains there. But is that my destiny, though?
Right.
And so, like I said, I feel like I'm destined to be a barber, so I'm going to remain loyal to that and watch it expound 10 times more than what it would have been if I'm working in the food industry or retail. I mean, I'm not, degrading any of that. What is for you is for you.
Right.
But again, that's going to require you to be honest with yourself to find out what your destiny is. But that's going to require someone to do something that they have a hard time doing these days, and that's looking in the mirror for something other than what they're wearing or what kind of makeup they're putting on. But hey, that's another day's conversation.
Oh, okay. Santana, talk to me. What you think?
Well, it could go either way. So I think what happens a lot of times is in many scenarios we're placed in those situations where, let's say, the destiny might come after the loyalty, but it happens the other way around too, where the loyalty sometimes follows the destiny. It could work either which way. So let's start out, let's say, for example, with loyalty and the destiny coming after. So I gotta agree, that there's definitely a work ethic that's gotta be involved in order for loyalty to work. So, for
Yes.
example, I think loyalty, another word for that would be dedication, right? Because when you work hard, and I'm going to state that career-wise, relationship-wise, just like, you guys stated as well. But, like, if you put your time into something, right? And when you care about something or someone, you will make the effort to try to make it work, right? Because it's something that's meaningful to you. And it's meaningful for many, many scenarios. It's not really about what you're going to get out of it afterwards. It's because your heart is really passionate and you're into it. So you're going to dedicate yourself to whatever that is because it's what makes you happy inside. So let's take career, for example, because career definitely requires that word. You've got to be loyal to it. You've got to be working. It's kind of like what you see on Shark Tank when they advise you, if you want a business to really succeed, you've got to put 24/7 into it. You will sacrifice where you live. You will downsize. You will do whatever it takes, to put 110% because you want to make sure that it becomes successful. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with a relationship or whatever else that you're dedicating yourself to. So let's say you do all those things, implement all those things, and then all these wonderful things, start coming your way. I mean, is it really destiny or did you work hard for it? So I think they go hand in hand because when you put your time and effort into something, I think beauty presents itself. I think works of wonders present itself. I think you become closer, like a relationship, career-wise, you become closer to making all those dreams come true. You start capitalizing on things. I really do believe they work hand in hand. So if you have the loyalty and the dedication from the beginning, your destiny is going to come no matter what, because that's what happens when you create greatness. However, let's switch it around, right? Let's take the destiny first. Let's say you're so lucky, things are just coming at you, and you're just lucky, and let's say you didn't really work hard for it. However, what's going to happen is you're going to be tested, because when things come to you so quickly, what do you think is going to happen? Your loyalty right there is going to be, it's going to be challenged. Are you going to, betray someone else, for example, to get to the next step and climb the ladder?
But can we honestly say that? Can we honestly attribute loyalty to someone if they have not been tested? See, here's the thing with loyalty. The thing with loyalty is it's almost like a ritual devotion to someone or to a cause. So how can I test how can I say that your devotion has been tested if we have not gone through the fire first?
Well, that would be, that's one of those examples where I said, it could go either which way. Sometimes you have to go through the fire in order to understand the loyalty, where I would, bring the destiny first and the loyalty after. It's one of those things where I say, okay, you're going through the fire, for example, you're going through different challenges, and you are going to be tested. So let's reverse it. If you bring the loyalty first, and let's say the fire comes later, I think that is kind of being tested because, for example, your character is going to be on the table. Your character is going to be showcased as to your decision. Because if you're loyal, it doesn't matter what you go through. Let's say, for example, you got a storm coming at you. You're being tested, right, through the fire. But if you are who you are and your character is strong, you're not going to compromise. That's kind of how I see it.
Okay. Danny, share your thoughts.
So when I think about loyalty, I think about friendships, relationships, and I feel like with loyalty, you put your needs aside and you put theirs first.
Selflessness.
Okay.
Well, with destiny, I feel like people compare destiny to like fate, but destiny you can't really control, kind of just happens. But then if you are comparing destiny and loyalty, which like comparing to like your work ethic and what you're loyal to, like I am very passionate about my hair and modeling. So the more loyal I am to it, I'm destined to like accomplish my goals and stuff. So that's how I feel about the two.
So you feel like your loyalty like is going to create your destiny?
Yes.
So you, all right. So all right.
I agree with that.
All right. Okay.
I totally agree with that.
Okay. Well, then here's my question. Then so now this is where I'm going to like try to get you to understand just how powerful destiny truly is, and how you have to reflect on yourself in order to find out if something is truly destiny. Let's go ahead and say we'll talk about work and relationships, because work is going to have relationships in it. Those are called professional relationships, and then we're going to have our romantic relationships, right? So if you're so loyal to something, you're working hard. Let's, for Santana, Danny, let's say, y'all are like the best woman in the world. You are a good woman to your man. You take care of your man. You do everything. Or you're at work and you bust your chops. You clock in. You're concerned about clocking in to make money, not friends. You grow hard. But if it's not your destiny, then I guarantee you'll find yourself pouring from an empty cup at some point, because you can bust your chops. So if it's not a relationship, where if things are going to be reciprocated, then can you truly say it's destiny, or are you getting drained? Ooh. So you're going to remain loyal to something that in turn really isn't being loyal to you. So are you going to find yourself being loyal to a quote unquote destiny because you feel as though you're working so hard for it?
Right. I mean, if you're doing something you love, then yeah. But like if you're like, I love what I do. I work with kids. I model. I do hair. So I feel like I'm destined to, like, I'm compassionate about that stuff. So
we just brought in the word love. That's a whole nother power.
Go ahead, Santana. What you was gonna say?
I think, I do believe, destiny is gonna happen no matter what. But I think the most important thing is, like, how do you know what is your destiny? You could have something appear right before you, which seems, incredible. But how do you know that really is the road? Is that really your destiny? We don't know. I mean, to me, I think if it's something that fulfills your heart inside and your passion, and it corresponds with what you've always wanted to do and what you've worked hard for, then to me, that's destiny.
Okay, I'm going.
I do believe that, and
No, go ahead. Finish.
No, I was just gonna say, I think it goes hand in hand when you place your work ethic before you and you really put your all into it. I just think nothing but good is gonna come to you. And I'm also a person of faith, so I believe, when you do have faith within you, that something's bound to happen. I mean, you may not quite know exactly what that is.
Okay.
But it will come your way. There's no doubt. Is that destiny? Is that luck? Is that an act of God? We don't know. I think until somebody actually, experiences it, I don't know that we can pinpoint, what that really is.
Now I'm going to define what the word destiny means. The etymology of the word destiny, I'm going to break it down. I like this dialogue. I'm loving it already. It's juicing up, and I feel the rust coming off me just a little bit. Yeah. So destiny, in the mid 14th century, it meant fate, the overruling necessity, or the irresistible tendency of certain events to come. It also, for example, I give a modern example. The coronavirus scare everyone's ripping and running, being scared of, not realizing that this had to happen in order for them to have an economic reset. It's destined to be an economic reset because you're having people not work for a certain amount of time. That affects the economy, no matter how large or small that number is. So it's destined that the economic reset happens because of the coronavirus, whether there's a lot of percentage of people dying from it or not, which, by the way, it's not. It's only 3%. But going back to destiny, to the rest of the word, it's a force that shapes or controls lives and events. It also says this. It's from the old French word destinine, which means purpose, intent, fate, destiny, or that which is destined by one's actions. So in all actuality, our perspective, even from a faith-based perspective, has always been that destiny or predestination was a predetermined event to happen in your life, no matter what you do about it, when the actual definition, the etymology of the word destiny in of itself shows that the word actually implies the actions that you set in course. So God has nothing to do with your destiny. You actually have something. Why? Because let's take it down, since you're faith-based, let's take it down to this. The Holy Bible says that faith without works is dead. I can believe that I can have faith that God's going to bless me with a great job. But if I never fill out an application, it's not going to happen. It's the same thing with destiny. We can say, "Oh, I'm destined." Like, for example, Santana, you're a personal trainer. You got your videos going. You've created your destiny. It's one thing to say, "This is what I want to be. I want to be a personal trainer. I want to have a TV show helping people better themselves in there." But you had to actually put in the work. You see what I'm saying? For that to happen. So in all actuality, if we look at the word loyalty for a second, look at the word loyalty. Loyalty by definition means fidelity at law, which actually means that you are bending the knee to something you deem sovereign. What is it that has you bending its knee thinking that it's sovereign than you? If it's not yourself, then you are not in control of your own destiny. You have now forfeited your destiny into the hands of someone else. Talk to me, panel. Talk to me.
So I mean, that ultimately corresponds. With you being honest with yourself. Like, so I agree. You're giving power to something else, and especially by not taking any action.
Yeah.
So, like, a prime example for me.
Right.
Believe it or not, I've been cutting hair since I was 15 years old.
Okay.
Why? Because my father messed up my shape up, and never again was I going to let him touch my head. So while he was gone, I would use his trimmers to give myself a lineup, and I would teach myself. And ever since then, but yeah, I know, right? That's exactly what I say every time. So by 17, I established I wanted to be a barber. I made it known, and believe it or not, I didn't get any support whatsoever. I was told to get a real job or get out. So I went to do retail. But my work ethic was going to let me go far in that, but that's not what made me happy.
Right.
So I decided to leave that. I said, let me try this college thing. I've been told that I've been smart. Let me try this college thing. So I found all my grants. I found all my loans. I went to Frostburg and Allegheny, and I was cutting hair there as well. And then I said, you know what? I can't stand school. I can't stand the concept of it. Like, I hate going to four walls being taught by someone else who had to go into debt in order to get their degree. So that makes no sense to me.
Ooh.
But that's another day's story.
Talk your talk, young man.
That's another day's story. So I decided to go ahead and join the military. It's been a long line of family dudes, and they joined the military too. So I did that.
Okay.
You hear me now?
I hear you now.
Yeah. So I decided to.
I did,
I decided to join the military, and even in the military, I was cutting hair as well. And the thing about it is, when I joined the military, they chose my job for me.
Ooh.
I didn't have any control over that. They chose my job for me. And the job that they chose for me was to be a lab tech. Okay?
Oh,
and
wow.
So upon, mind you, again, I was cutting hair in the military. And upon getting out of the military, I became a supervisor for a multi-million-dollar medical corporation to be a laboratory supervisor for them. And again, I was cutting hair. I had a barber chair in my basement. And it wasn't until I jumped out on faith and decided to just go ahead and give up my full-time job and 401k and benefits and decided that I'm going to go ahead and start cutting hair. Little did I realize in that process that I was going to learn, historically, barbers back in the day were lab techs, aka bloodletters. What we know today as phlebotomists. So the barber pole that I wear around my neck, the red, white, and blue that everyone sees, is representative to lab techs. The white is for the white coats, the red is for the blood, and the blue is for the veins. So little did I realize that the job that was chosen for me is very much corresponding to the job that I'm doing today. But it took me jumping out there on faith and taking the action to go ahead and do what it is that I've loved to do since I was such a young kid. So I'm a firm believer in faith without works is dead. And to be truthfully told, we all want so much, but to whom much is given, much is required.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to do what's required, then don't be mad when your plate is empty.
Danny, what's going through your mind?
Absolutely.
I definitely agree with you control your destiny, because I can sit here and say that I'm compassionate and I love modeling, doing hair. But if I'm not actually doing it and doing photo shoots and doing people's hair all the time, then it's not my destiny. And I can relate to you with school is not my thing. I didn't even try it. For one, college was not my thing. I hated high school. I went to hair school. I've been doing hair for a while now. So I know for sure I'm compassionate and that's my destiny.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Santana, talk to me. What's your thoughts on what I said?
Well, I'm laughing over here because everybody seems to have experience in hair, and I did too. I actually, when I was in high school, I got my license in cosmetology, so I was studying hair through schooling. It's interesting that you've got a hairdresser there, a barber, and that's kind of really where I started out. I was trying to be a hairdresser, and I said, you know what? It's not making me happy. This is not what I want to do. I want something greater. And then, I started studying business, and actually, I have a degree in fashion merchandising, my 2-year degree, and then I went and finished up with a bachelor in business marketing.
Okay.
So from that point on, you would think, what I saw myself doing, honestly, was being in New York City. I was going to move out to New York, and I said, I'm going to become a buyer in the fashion industry. And I saw myself either doing that or being in the cosmetic industry, working for somebody like Revlon or Estee Lauder. And all of that changed after I graduated. I headed back to Buffalo, and never did I think I would be out here in LA, which is what I'm doing. I never saw it. It's just what happens is it's one of those things when we talk about really getting into the fire and then experiencing that, the change.
Right.
You're always going to be challenged with something that comes at you, and when you actually get into those positions, you may not want that. And that's what's tough about when we talk about what is it that you really want to do, because sometimes what we think we want to do, once we get there, it may not be the thing that you want. So I headed out here and I pursued, a career in acting, and I did a lot of modeling out here, and I did a lot of television hosting, and I saw my passion, as a creator. I wanted to create. I wanted to control. I don't want to say the word control. Control is not a good word. I'm going to say that I did not like being controlled through acting or figuring out what my next job was going to be, and struggling through being out here in Hollywood while somebody's telling me or deciding, well, are we going to give for this job or not? I didn't want that anymore. I wanted to be the creator. I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be the one to pull it all together and create something of my own where somebody can say to me, but you know what? We can take that away from you, or we're going to do it our way. I think the beauty of all of this, when I hear all of these things, it's about passion. And all of you are creators, because one thing I can say is you have to have creativity to be a hairdresser. Bottom line, you just do. It's a form of art.
Yes.
So there's a certain personality that comes with that, right? And then you can easily get into another, genre area where you can have that creativity of your own in anything else. Once you're a creator, once you're an artist, you can tap into anything and be just as successful because you have that creative mind.
Yes.
So I think, when you put all your time into something and you really work hard, and again, we go back to work ethic, it's going to lead you to the road where, you know, you may end up in. And I guarantee all of you, you know, just your personal experience, everything that I've ever done in my life, whether it be, you know, trying to be a hairdresser, fashion, business, it all pulls together. Every single job that I can think of when I was doing sales, I worked corporate for a while, all pulled together into everything that I am doing today. When you're talking about creating any kind of show, you've got a radio show there, right?
Yeah.
Television, you need sales experience. You need to know how to push out advertising. You need to know how to pitch people. You need to know how to interview people. It's all going to come together. Every little thing that you do in your life it's definitely going to bring you to where, you know, the finale of where, I don't want to say finale, but the final thing that's going to make you the happiest.
Yeah.
I really believe everything that we do is like that, right? It's like a piece of the puzzle, and life is basically the pieces of the puzzle. And at some point later on, it all connects and it all makes sense. And you say all the experiences that I went through in the past years, it all makes sense as to why it happened, because look where I'm at today. So, you know, it's just, you know, I just think there's a fine line in what you say between loyalty, I guess that's what it talks matter, and destiny. Close knit. They really are.
Okay.
Because one will affect the other. And I agree with all you guys. You know, I agree with all you guys because if you don't put in the effort, you can't expect things to come to you. And there are, believe it or not, a lot of people out there that think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does not. It does, it doesn't last long. So, like that, it's that.
Cool. So listen, real quick, we're going to take a quick 2.2 break. And when we come back, we're going to dive deeper into the topic loyalty versus destiny. And I have an interesting twist I'm going to put on it.
Oh,
so y'all stay tuned to the Choo-on-that as we chew on some music for 2.2. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
He fired.
Atomic bombs of Japan, piloted by Colonel Paul Tibbets, Jr. of Miami, carrying Navy Captain William Parsons of Chicago, who helped design the bomb as observer, and Major Thomas Farabee.
It's snowing.
Yes, this is what I want. That's perfect. All right.
So, are you scared to death, Negro?
That was actually fun. Oh, yeah. Well,
Mm. 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 Mm.
I'm trying to do how to lose weight. You feel me? So I can fit tight spaces. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a big boy in the movie. Homie, jump line.
Yeah, really. Like the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't see. All you see is my shoulder. That's all I'm giving the world. Cold shoulder. Y'all got a flow right now. It's a good flow.
Yo.
It's a good flow.
I'm trying not to be OD because I was gonna go in.
You pump the brakes out of it.
Yeah. I was like, let me go ahead. A little mild sauce.
Yeah, you pump the brakes out of it.
Miss Rodriguez coming back.
Give my last day.
All right, we about to come in. Don't say that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The Choo-on-that show is back. Oh man, we've been talking about loyalty versus destiny, and how do they correlate with one another. I'm Mr. Randy Choo-on-that, the host here. I have my lovely co-host with me, Christopher J. and Danny is in the building. I have a special guest, Santana Rodriguez, aka Santana Fit. You know what I mean? Santana Rodriguez, you know what I mean? But listen. So, huh?
That's pretty good.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it.
You all right.
But go ahead, give myself a round of applause. You know what I'm saying? But listen, so we having a good discussion. Again, everyone, I'm glad that y'all tuning in for the reboot. You know, we just getting the rust off, getting the kinks off, and Miss Santana's graced us with her presence to be the first special guest on our show, which, by the way, this probably ain't going to be the only time she comes back on the Chew-on-that show. We probably going to have her come back a few more times throughout the year since everyone's chilling at home, faking like they got coronavirus or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So they shut down everything. I just heard that in Wichita, Kansas, they just said school is done for the rest of the year. Yeah, like it's over.
This is getting out of control.
Yeah, it's getting crazy out here.
That's from a medical perspective. This thing is getting way out of control.
Yeah. And then I heard that Idris, I forgot what's his last name? Elba.
Yeah, but he was confirmed positive, but he's not symptomatic right now.
I just want to say one thing.
And Kevin Durant, as of like within the past few hours.
Yeah, you could tell that the top of his head had coronavirus. You see how many spots he had on top of that thing?
Because that was just from inadequate skincare. That look don't we gonna help him out. If he ever gets listen to this, if you ever come to BWI, you fly in, brother. Come on down to a King's Barbershop. We got you.
Yeah, you gonna need a king on that head. I'm trying to tell you the way that thing look. But I just find it amazing how everyone is masking up and being afraid of the coronavirus, but dudes is still out here getting it in, and AIDS been in existence for how long now?
Yeah, and y'all wearing masks, but don't want to play football.
I'm just saying, like, how many people died from different stuff, and everyone is tripping about the coronavirus? Like, when Obama was in office, and I don't like their president, Obama or Trump or anybody like that. I don't care about the presidency like I care about local government because that's what immediately affects my life. But Obama had H1N1. And they had a lot more deaths with H1N1 than we do with coronavirus. And it's just like everyone's in a mask, like, oh my God, we're going to get shut down. And then it's just people are puppets of the media. And
Right.
I am tired of everyone being puppets and sheeps of the media. It's sad when the population, here come the etymologist in me coming out real quick. The word population comes from the Latin word populoso, which means the herd of unlearned sheep.
And that's what everybody is.
And that's what everyone's acting like, a bunch of idiots.
It doesn't help that our president tweets more than a teenage girl, but I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
No shots.
Go ahead, Santana. Talk your talk. What you was about to say?
And no, I was agreeing with that because I believe that we're just bowing down to what the media wants from us. I mean, when you look at the news, there's always something negative. There's another person testing, for the coronavirus. But what I'm noticing is that there's no recollection of anything positive. Now, some of the people that have been exposed, for example, to the coronavirus in China, they've recovered. Some of the symptoms, there were interviews actually being done with those people to find out what their symptoms were, what did they go through, how quickly they recovered. And some, truthfully, were in a matter of days, but you don't hear about any of that.
Right.
The focus is on the people who passed away, but what they don't realize is that all of those people were individuals, elderly, that had underlying health conditions to begin with. They don't look at, they're not focusing on those things. The same thing, some of the people that, passed away that were younger, same thing, they had a health issue already. But so I think the point of it is when we're talking about health is that I think all of us, right, have a responsibility to make sure that our immune system is as strong as possible.
Yeah,
Stay as healthy as possible. Not just in this case, because this is one of many. We're talking about any other kind of, like the flu, for example, any kind of illness or sickness. I mean, we do have a responsibility to take care of ourselves, just in case something like this comes our way,
Right.
And not everybody's affected by it. So yeah, I'm with you. I think the media is going stir crazy with their way, and it's nonsense. It really is.
So let me ask this.
I mean, yeah.
Let me ask.
It's just over the part.
Let me ask this question to you first, Santana, and then I want to go to my co-host.
Sure.
You said something as you were talking before the break about you said that there were certain events you alluded to. I'm not saying you said verbatim, but from what I took from what you said, you were saying that certain events happened that shaped you into who you are as far as doing your hair and doing your acting and all that stuff like that. And so was there ever a time in your life, we about to dive deep now, Law. Oh my God, Lord have mercy. Sweet Lord, baby Jesus. Was there ever a time in your life where you had to choose loyalty to yourself versus loyalty to another person that was very, very close to you?
Oh yeah, we finna get deep.
Santana?
In my life, I'm going to say, for example, I'm going to give you like an example personally and also career-wise.
Okay.
So I would say personally, I had, you know, when I was making the decision to come to Los Angeles, you know, my father got sick. My father got very ill, and he encountered diabetes type 2, and my dad had to go through a leg amputation.
Oh,
So
man.
before I came out, yeah, it was pretty intense and very emotional, a very emotional time. So I'm gonna give you 2 examples where that occurred.
Okay.
So the first one was either having the loyalty to my father, who was very ill at that time, and I at that time was engaged to somebody out there, ready to get married in a few years. I was very, very unhappy with the relationship and also the place where I was at in my life. I knew I wanted to come out to LA for so long, but I held off on that dream because I wanted to make the person that I was with happy, as well as when my dad encountered his illness, like how I can't leave my father. You know, I was always daddy's little girl, very, very bonded and close to him. So yeah, that was a challenge that I had to face. Do I go chasing after the dream, the passion, the place that I've always wanted to be in, where I knew my heart would be very happy? Or do I have loyalty to my dad, who's someone that brought me up, and I know he would never lose my side if I was in that position? And the same thing with a significant other, you know. And it was very hard, you guys. Like, I'll tell you, I went through a massive depression at that point in my life because, you know, I realized, you know, I'm living for everybody else, but I didn't know that at that time. So to make a long story short, what ended up happening was I stayed, you know, for my dad. He never told me to, but I knew that was expected, you know, especially in our family. You take care of each other and you're there for each other. You know, no excuses. And so, yeah, I went through that depression, and it took about a year where I couldn't do it anymore. And I had to make a serious decision. And what I did was I went to the person that I was always close to, which was my father. He saw my discontent. He saw how miserable I was. And at that point, he made the decision for me. He said, you know what, you can go to California now. I said, no, I would never leave you. There's no way. And he's like, no, I'm better. He's like, I'm telling you, I'm better. I'm good. He's like, go. You can, you know, make that decision for yourself. And as soon as he said that, that was the green light in my life.
Okay.
Where I went back to my, you know, my significant other, and I was like, I'm out of here. You know, I'm done. And you know, the problem with all of these choices that we make between, you know, all loyalty is that somebody gets hurt. There's a sacrifice that has to be made.
Yes.
It's never like
yes.
Right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up going to Hollywood, and I'll tell you, that's where my heart was. And my, you know, a lot of my dreams came true, and that was one scenario. And then obviously the other one was in Hollywood. You know, one thing as a woman being out there, you're always going to be challenged. You're always going to be told, well, this is the way it is out here, and this is what you need to do if you want to make it in this industry. You're always told that. You're always going to be told you have to look a certain way. We want this hair color to be on you, and that's what you need to be and look like to get over here, which the reality is they're all lies. It's all manipulation in Hollywood. And once you recognize that, and if you're a strong person, you're going to have to walk away from a lot of things in order to, you know, give yourself that self-respect.
Ooh, I like that point you just hit on. I like that point you just hit on. The ability to stay loyal to yourself, even when opportunities open itself up for you to walk to your destiny faster. Oh my God, Danny, Talk to me.
Pretty deep. I mean, when you're in that kind of position, that's where, your faith is going to have to come in, and it's got to come in strong, that you feel loyal enough, like you said to yourself, that, you know what, if you take that option, that greatness is going to come to your way. Even though it's not immediate, somebody over here, may be offering you the best thing in the world, but you're not comfortable with it. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And you say, this is something I might regret, but I'm going to do it anyway. So you're going to be that one left feeling alone. Your heart's going to feel sad. And you know what? It's going to take a long time to recover from that versus really walking away from it with dignity and, and respect. I mean, it's a chance you take. It's kind of like when right? I always compare it to, I'm sure all of you have watched The Matrix before, right?
Yeah.
I always compare it to taking the red pill or the blue path. Like, which one are you going to take? Because it's going to be a different outcome each way. So what's more important to you? What's on the surface, and what I mean by what's on the surface is the outcome, your title of what you're going to get. Or are you going to be happier with fulfilling your heart? Because it's going to be two completely different feelings. And so you got to honestly look at yourself in the mirror and say, what's more important to me? What can I live with? Because you're going to be haunted if you take one route or the other. I mean,
but we live in a society
where
this system, which I call the beast, knows how to prey on your heart. It knows how to lure you into opportunities where what you feel like you're destined to do is right before your eye. It reminds me of the movie The Devil's Advocate. And how he was given what he wanted, but it was at a cost of something. Danny, talk to me. You've been a little quiet. Talk to me.
Yeah, so I was in a little situation so it's kind of like what I said earlier when I said loyalty is like putting your needs or putting their needs before yours, and that's kind of what I did, and I still kind of regret it.
Okay.
Even though it's weird. It's like my definition of loyalty, but not.
Go deeper. No. Go deep. So you were saying
transparency is key.
That you were in a situation where loyalty was involved,
right,
and you had to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
So he got incarcerated.
Okay.
And I was with him while he was incarcerated.
Okay.
And then there was a lot of cheating happening on his side.
Okay.
So I kind of had to put myself first for once and be loyal to myself and focus on myself and my career. And that's not something he ever understood.
Okay.
And he wasn't really there for me mentally. He put me in the darkest place, to this day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard for me to talk about it all the time, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how did you? Hold on, Chris. Christopher J.
That's what they call me.
Santana said the industry will throw things at you, but it's buying your integrity away. Danny just said that she was in a situation where she had to choose herself to be loyal to self instead of constantly going through the darkness that she was walking through. What are your thoughts on all of this, and how does this coordinate to destiny and loyalty?
All right, I'm not gonna let Danny sit by herself. I too had a situationship. That's what I'm gonna call it.
A situationship.
Yeah, it's just low key. Because a relationship, the purpose of that is to relate. So if you're not doing that, it's not really a relationship. So happens. But actually, I had 2 situationships because I'm hard headed.
Okay.
So I was in a situationship where I pretty much I moved a woman in with her two children.
Okay.
And I guess I'm labeled as a professional stepdad these days. So that ended up happening because you're so loyal and you sacrifice so much of self, you get taken advantage of, you find yourself unappreciated, the whole 9 yards. So you can't be out here saving everybody. Then I jumped from that into another situationship where again I'm being a professional stepdad and I'm just sacrificing my growth. And it's all because I have a big heart. And it definitely will put you in a dark place. So I'm at the point in my life where I'm now growing from that dark place.
Yes.
Learning to use that big heart again that grew cold.
Yeah.
But I'm using that big heart for myself and putting myself in a position to where my wallet can be as big as my heart. Because I technically would be settling for less if I found myself only wanting to just take care of, those 2 children of the first situation or just the child. I look forward to one day having a family. I know they say it takes a village.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I actually just made a post on my Instagram, in regards to my grandfather. Today's his birthday, actually.
Shout out.
Happy birthday,
Shout out.
Granddad.
Respects. Moment of silence real quick. All right, word.
Love you, Granddad. And the thing is, I was raised by the village. My aunts and uncles, they raised me to be who I am today, and I realized that village was created by that man.
Wow.
So I want to be a man that creates a village. So that empire, that kingdom that I'm pursuing.
So are you saying to me that the principles that your grandfather laid out, the principles was so strong that his children's loyalty to him was a benefit for how they were loyal to your upbringing?
Correct. And so with that, shout out to my pop.
Woo, that's powerful. That's powerful.
So that to me is what drives my work ethic, which in turn fuels the loyalty, which is going to reflect into my destiny.
Now, Santana has a show that's about to come on Roku, and she has her shows on her websites and other platforms. She's in magazines, the whole 9. Mm-hmm. And she said that the industry was trying to offer her things that would compromise her integrity and what she believed in. So my question to you, Santana, as you were talking, I was wondering, how were you able to land those magazines and those shows if you didn't give into that which takes away your integrity in Hollywood? Let's go deeper.
Well, that's the beauty of it. Not everybody has to do that. And I think many women especially are brainwashed into believing that if you want to be in a magazine or on television that you have to compromise yourself in some sort of fashion. I mean, look at Harvey Weinstein. I bring him as an example.
I'm waiting for Oprah to do a documentary on Harvey Weinstein. Oprah, I need you to do a documentary on Harvey Weinstein and leave other people alone. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to get that off my chest.
Yeah, it's true. Like, she needs to do that. But anyhow, you don't have to do any of that. You know what? What I always say, study the industry. Set yourself apart from the people that are going to, stipulate where you should go and what direction you should go. And usually those are your agents and your managers. You can do it on your own. What I always suggest is what I've always done is I've contacted editors directly.
Okay.
You contact the editor of the magazine, and I say, listen, this is what I'm doing. I would love to be a part of your magazine. I would love to be featured. But you don't want to just be a face trying to get into a magazine. You want to have a story that comes with it. People love hearing about experiences, right?
Yeah.
Tell your story. When you approach someone, say, this is what happened in my life, and I would love an opportunity to share it with people. Can you provide me with an opportunity to get an editorial or a feature in your magazine so that I can spread the word about what happened, so that maybe it can help somebody else, or maybe it's just words of advice, how to get in better health, how do I even start a program without exercising. Most important thing about magazines is that they want to hear stories. They want people to benefit from reading their magazine. So if you can offer them something, that people would be interested in reading, that's one way, to get through that. And that's what I always did. And when I first got here, I had opportunities where I'm going to say I was in a photo shoot session somewhere, and I was able to, be published that way, or I worked with a certain photographer that was, shooting for those magazines, and I was able to get in that way as well. And I worked with a lot of freelance photographers as well. And what they do is they go ahead and submit to the magazines, and the magazines will take us, okay, what photos do we like? So that's pretty much how it happened for me. I didn't really compromise myself. I didn't have to. And
Nice.
I did not. If you're a stand-up person and you're courageous and you say, well, listen, I'm not comfortable with doing this, you don't have to do it. Honestly, perfect example, when I came to Hollywood, within months, I shot with a photographer. He's very big in LA, and he shot for Playboy for many years, and he tried to get me during the shoot to pose for Playboy. He's like, well,
hot dog.
Yeah, he's like, he didn't say any of this before the shoot. It was while we were shooting, and he kept trying to talk me into it. He's like, that's the look that you have. That's where you belong. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. And he's like, but you're built and you have this size. So I'm like, I don't care. That's not what I'm trying to do.
Right.
Nobody's forced into doing anything that they don't want to do. So don't let anybody fool you and say I was a victim of this. And, no, that's total BS. You have a choice. If you don't like it, if you don't feel comfortable, walk away.
Wow.
Business has got to be strong enough to do that. And I think, when I was out here, I wasn't 19 years old or 20. I was already in my mid-20s, I would say, to begin my journey. So I already had, kind of like an education of what it was going to be like out here. And I prepped for that before then. So, I just worry about the girls that are like really young, because they have no idea. Honestly, I'm glad you bring all this stuff up, because that's one thing I want to do. I want to mentor girls. I want to mentor young women.
Okay.
To have enough sort of faith in themselves to know they don't have to do any of that, and don't let anybody brainwash you or force you into feeling like you have to do those things in order to get out. You don't.
Ooh. So I wanna real quick give a shout out to my man, the Real DJ Show. He's a comedian out there in LA. He's on the podcast also, the Craig Smith Show. Craig Facts, shout out to Craig Facts. Shout out to Corey Holcomb. Shout out to Freeze Love. Listen, if people on the gram want to call in, the number to dial is 516-531-9828. That's 516-531-9828. I want to say this. When it comes to being loyal to yourself, forgiveness is a part of that. But the way we've been taught forgiveness is wrong. There is an Eastern philosopher by the name of J. Krishnamurti. J. Krishnamurti is one of my favorite philosophers to listen to, by the way. Wow. Because the stuff he says makes so much sense compared to this Western stuff that we hear all the time. For example, this Western stuff of naming and claiming. I've been naming $1 million for a couple years now, and trying to claim it for a couple years now, and it just ain't coming forth until I actually go out and do something about it. So that's a Western philosophy that we adopted. But Eastern philosophy, he says this. J. Krishnamurti, which, by the way, I also studied his master student who became a master teacher. His name is Sangdu Murti. And then I also listened to Alan Watts, who's a translator of the to the Western world from Eastern philosophy, and they said this, that forgiveness. And Danny, I want you to hear this real good. Forgiveness, and not just Danny, those are listening to the show, those that are chiming into the show or even watch this after we're finished with the live. I want you to hear this. Forgiveness is when you change the definition and the meaning of an event that happened in the past. You can't say that you forgive someone and still be hurt by them, because by the definition of the word, you have to change the meaning of what happened. In other words, you have to change the perspective of how you saw things, how you felt in that event, in order for you to have have forgiveness towards that other individual, or towards that other situation. Now, the awesome thing about that, and this is Eastern philosophy now, this is Krishnamurti who said this. J. Krishnamurti said, one of the greatest displays in human history was when we read in the Holy Bible. By the way, he doesn't like the Bible, so him quoting this means something. He said that when Jesus said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do," was a great expression of the true definition of forgiveness, because in the midst of feeling the physical pain of what had happened, he screamed out forgiveness. We, on the other hand, who have not been physically assaulted in such nature, well, number one, I'm not gonna let nobody put their hands on me anyway. I'm just a firm believer in turning the other person's cheek, not mine.
I want to speak on that too.
But let's think about this for a second, because in order for you to be loyal to yourself, you have to have forgiveness, because if you walk around with unforgiveness, you are being loyal to the actions of another person. And that loyalty now guides the events of your life, which in turns, you are captive to what they subscribe your destiny is. Think about that for a moment. If destiny is a chain of events that are bound to happen, if you are hurt by someone, it changes your chemical makeup, your emotional makeup, and you begin to make decisions based upon how you feel. In this society, we have so many people that say, I feel. But if you don't have emotional stability, your feelings is nothing but crap. And your life is dictated now by a bunch of feelings that are a consequence of other people's actions. So in all actuality, you are not in control of your own life.
I'm in total agreement with that.
Talk to me.
So ultimately, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say that you forgive someone if you regret a situation, but until you stop seeing it as regrets and start seeing them as lessons.
Yes.
Can you truly say that you?
Yes. See, we have a saying that we say that it's either a lesson or a blessing, but I disagree. I believe that the blessing is the lesson.
Correct.
Life is about evolving. Life is about learning. And if you're not learning and evolving as things happen, if you're not experiencing life on a scale and looking at everything as a lesson, right now this is a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
We have heard of a woman in the industry who said that she did not bend her knee or her integrity to get where she's at. We have a young lady on the panel right now who says that she had to make a decision to be loyal to herself because she found herself in a dark place. But you know, the only way to get out of that dark place is to continue to be loyal to yourself and truly find forgiveness in that. Chris, you said you had a situation where you moved someone in and you was playing stepdaddy and all that. The fact that these conversations are what we call tough shows us that we have not fully, we have not fulfilled loyalty to ourselves.
Correct.
we are a slave of our past. And the only way to do that is to establish better habits, establish things that are better to bend the knee with. Santana, you do personal training, personal fitness. Chris does that also on the side. I don't know why he didn't say that, but yeah, he does.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I'm more of a motivator now. I mean, I did personal training back in the day. But
Okay.
I classified myself today more as a fitness personality. I like to motivate people to move. So I just want to correct that.
So in all this, and I want Danny to chime into what I said as well. And Danny, speak a little louder. So in this, how and Santana, after Danny speaks, I want you to chime in. Then Chris, you chime in. What are you doing right now in your life that is showing loyalty to yourself, which in turn is shaping your destiny? Danny, go.
Okay, so my modeling career.
Okay.
I'm focusing on that and doing hair at the same time.
Okay.
Building my clientele, meeting new photographers, doing more photo shoots, just focusing on myself and not worrying about relationships right now or anything.
Good, yeah.
Really worried about. I am happy with somebody though right now.
Okay.
Let me put that out there just in case
Uh-oh.
I am in a happy place right now.
Okay.
And that's all that matters, being happy. And as long as I'm doing what's right for me,
Yes.
that's all that matters.
Yes. Now, Santana, go ahead. And then after Chris, I'm going to say something to that point. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I would say what I'm doing now to shape my career and my life, honestly, is giving back. Giving back to the community, giving back to my family. Right now, just to give you an example, something I've always wanted to do is mentor. I have a little 9-year-old girl that I've been mentoring for the last couple years. I'm part of the Big Brothers, Big Sisters organization.
Okay.
And, in order to make my life better, it makes me happy to make somebody else's life better, to guide them, to not go through, certain, conflictions within yourself to decide, okay, which direction do I take? I want my little girl that I mentor to follow and make those right decisions for herself when she comes across, with challenges like that in her life. So that's very important to me. I want her, to be a success. I want her to go after her dreams. And I would say she's number one as far as that's one of the main things that I'm doing to try to shape my life and also to give back. I created this TV show. I dedicated it to my father. My father is the person responsible for me being in Hollywood. Had he not said, I'm better, go now, I wouldn't be here. So I no longer have my father anymore. Unfortunately, he passed away 4.5 years ago.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
My heart and my spirit. And this show is giving back. It's a health and fitness show to help other people to not go through or experience what my dad did. So, it's like when you have a platform in your life, you've got to be a voice to it. And you've got to lead and not follow. And you've got to be an example. And you've got to give back. And to me, that's what makes my life more gratifying today than ever before. And, I'm my own person. I don't need to wait for someone to give me an opportunity. You know what? I pick out the opportunity. I create the opportunity. I mean, anybody can do whatever they want. So if you really want to shape your life, take control of your own life and make it happen.
Wow.
And I think that's the most important. And on that note, very importantly, before I forget, very important, before the show ends, I want to put out there, because of the coronavirus, we brought it up, and all of this mishaps, I'm just going to share with you guys in LA, as of yesterday, every gym was closed out, every restaurant was closed out, and so I was going to go to a friend's house and, trying to use their gym. But every condo, apartment, anybody who has a fitness facility is not allowed to use any of it, or otherwise they'll be fined.
Oh, wow.
So, on that note, my TV show will be airing in 2 days, and I'm trying to be very sensitive to the situation with coronavirus right now. But the most important thing is that all of us need to, pick up our immune system, get that working as strong as possible, and it's a perfect opportunity, actually. We're negative, the coronavirus is a negative. It's become positive for me. And let me correct that. Not a positive that coronavirus is good. Let me correct that, because it's not for anybody. However, my TV show couldn't have worked out at perfect timing, where it's all about home workouts. It's all about doing the exercises, on literally in your living room floor. So I encourage everybody to check out Chasing Up with Santana. It will be running on Roku. It's on Amazon Fire. Check it out. Okay? That's all I have to say.
Shaping Up with Santana. Shaping Up with Santana. You can do it.
Yeah.
It is coronavirus free. You can do it in your living room. You can do it with a t-shirt on, some tighty whities. Listen, real quick before Chris says anything, I want to take a quick 2.2 break. And then when we come back, Chris is going to talk. I'm going to give my final thoughts. We're going to close out the show. Everyone stay tuned for a moment. We're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, Chris is going to speak, who is my intellectual irritant, by the way. And then I'm going to give my final thoughts. Stay tuned.
Irritant is very closely related to stimulant. Okay, just want you to know that. That was good that you actually were transparent enough to expose a soft spot. Yeah. We need more of that. Huh? That's what happens when you're real.
All right, so we got 7 minutes. So talk for about 3 minutes and I'm gonna take the rest.
Yeah. That's cool. That's a good job, man. I need you to say pop next time. I don't mean my sperm donor, so we can clarify this. That's actually gonna go into my clarify. I got you. I understand it. And little bruh, you need to get your own catchphrase.
What?
Go deeper already hid.
Oh, that's not my catchphrase.
Oh, I understand what I'm saying. We need your catchphrase when the time comes for that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's unravel that.
Yeah. Well, actually, he got that from me, but that's a whole different story.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
I wasn't privy to that one prior to just now.
yeah. But I still need to, because
people associate
yes.
with him.
Yes.
And since you said his name,
yes.
He's trying to be like him.
Yeah.
We're not trying to have that be the case.
Yeah.
Danny, I appreciate your openness, like you said. Yeah, that's it. We all have dark spots in our lives. We're still working on one of mine. Yeah, it's actually closely related to.
Hey, my man said, I bet you a Rothschild I get a bang for my dollar. God. Yo.
I actually utilize my dog spot, so I'll leave that alone. I have all the egos. Yeah, all the egos. Nicer alter ego is Wolverine. That's the nicer one. My dark alter ego is Dark Vader.
That's so shit next to a man, calm down. Eat them like cheesesteaks, bro.
I ain't know what that was.
That's why I was about to be like, dang, I got sick clothes.
No. All right, you ready? We about to come back. Don't say that. Oh, yeah. You are now rocking to the fine tunes of Randy Choo. See, it comes a time in a man's life where you just got to let the beat rock out. Slow down, baby, because I am here. And it's me and you and me. And we're traveling through the atmosphere. And that's enough of that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at your boy Randy Choo, a.k.a. Mr. Choo-on-that, a.k.a. Mr. Slap Your Mama for playing with me. I'm here. My co-host and my special guest, Christopher J, is a co-host. Danny is a co-host. And my special guest, Santana Rodriguez, a.k.a. Santana Fit. Go check her out. On all her social media platforms. Check out her website. Go be on the lookout for Shaping Up with Santana is coming out on television, the whole nine. And we're going to keep promoting. We're going to keep pushing. But real quick, I'm going to let Christopher J say his piece, and then I'm going to come in with my final words. And then everyone's going to lay out their social media or any events they got going on, and we closing out the show, baby. Christopher J, holla at the people.
Oh, man, before we went on break, he was talking about what it is that we are doing in regards to work towards our destiny. I think my biggest chapter, aside from the fact that I'm turning dirty 30 tomorrow, biggest chapter in my life is dealing with transparency. And that means exposing, both good and bad, being clear. And I always like to use the comparison to diamonds, because diamonds are clear, but everybody is envious of diamonds. Everybody loves diamonds, but nobody ever wants to endure the process that it takes to become a diamond, which involves a lot of heat and pressure. It's two of the things that we run from as people. So I'm pursuing the heat. I'm pursuing the pressure. I'm actually in love with the process. And I feel as though until you find that love for that growth, because truth be told, a lot of people say that growth is uncomfortable. In fact, the matter is, it's not. It's the resistance to growth that I feel is uncomfortable. Because everybody loves, like I said, everybody loves diamonds, but no one pursues the process for diamonds. Everybody loves and thinks that butterflies are beautiful, but I don't know a person that's ever asked a butterfly how hard it was to get out of the cocoon. I mean, granted, we can't talk to butterflies, period, but you can. I talk to butterflies.
Talk your talk, young man.
Yeah, but we never ask a butterfly how hard it is to get out of a cocoon. But even the process to get to the cocoon, it has to isolate itself. But are we honest enough with ourselves in order to isolate ourselves? But in order to be honest with yourself, you have to be transparent. So it takes me back to what I said before. So I use my platform as a barber now. So when people come to a King's Barbershop and I'm blessing their crown, I'm not just giving them a haircut. I'm not just concerning myself to fix their image on the outside. I have conversations. I stimulate the mind that the crown sits upon and try to help a fellow brother grow and be some form of a leading figure in their life or another perspective, even if it's just to clean out their lens so that they can see what it is that they're supposed to do better. So I definitely agree with what Santana said in regards to using a platform to better other people, because it's not just about yourself. You definitely need to be able to help other people with your platform. But yeah, I'll go ahead and pass the ball.
Okay. Listen, so it's my final thoughts on the topic loyalty versus destiny. And we're going to revisit this topic. We're going to revisit it because it's a lot. a lot to unpack, but I want to read something. It says this: loyalty is a noble quality that is found not only in human beings, but also in pet animals, such as dogs, horses, elephants, etc. The word loyalty means fidelity to the law, which is generally applicable in the case of the sovereign of the state. But in its broader sense, it means one's steadfastness and allegiance to a person or cause. That's deep. Or to one's country or sovereign. Yeah. A lot of people are loyal to their country because they listen to everything that the media says, but that's a whole different topic. Loyalty involves obedience, sacrifice, and compassion of the heart. God, loyalty is a very broad term which may be applicable in cases of one's family and etc. A loyal person is ready to sacrifice even his own life for the sake of his master, friend, relative, or the country. This is what the term loyalty, mid-14th century, that's what it was referring to. A loyal person bears a moral character, honest outlook, and disciplined manners. Oh my God. Let's not even put manners in the equation, because half the people 90% of people in American society have lost all manners.
Or discipline.
A truly loyal man cannot be bribed or tempted to deviate from his own path. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end with this. A loyal person cannot be bribed or tempted to deviate from his or her path of destiny. There's no event, there's no circumstance, there's nothing that should be able to separate you or make you deviate from what you say your destiny is. And if it happens, you have to honestly look in the mirror and say, I am not loyal to myself. And if you don't have self-loyalty, you cannot be loyal to anyone else. The Bible says, love your neighbor as thou love thyself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love your neighbor if you're not loyal to yourself, ladies and gentlemen.
Self-love.
You are not loyal to anyone else. If you don't know how to bend the knee to the good in you, you will always bend the knee to the bad in other people. You will always be manipulated and controlled into doing, acting, feeling, or condemning yourself to another person's standard or more moral compass. In turn, that person wasn't there to dictate your character, your morals, your standards. So in turn, you're asking another person to mold your destiny if you're not loyal to yourself. You have now given power to someone to say, you are my God now. That person has become your idol because you have not found loyalty to yourself. Do you know that this was one of the reasons why the person that we call the Buddha left Hinduism? He wanted to go on a path to be loyal to himself. And so thus they call him the Buddha, which is not his real name, by the way. Let's take this a step further for the faith-based people. Jesus. I said, I'm going to say that name again. I said, Jesus. Okay, there we go. Now we feeling it. He says this: no greater love than no one has with this, but to lay his life down for a friend. Jesus, in turn, showed that the loyalty to his own standard, to his own character, was to lay down his life for his friends. So, in turn, Jesus was loyal to his own plan, which motivated other people to be loyal to themselves first and then follow his plan. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing someone tell you to do something with your life, but they show that they're not loyal in their own life to their own selves, then you are given that is the root of hypocrisy.
Message.
Ladies and gentlemen, we about to sign off. Before I go, I want Santana Rodriguez to give all her social media information, television information, all that, and then my co-host, and then we out. Go ahead.
Okay, you can check me out at shapingupwithsantana.com. That's the show website. You can follow me on Instagram at SantanaFit. You can check me out on Twitter at SantanaRod. And you can check out the show right now on Amazon Fire. It's also playing on Android. And the upcoming areas where you'll see the show is obviously on Roku, the iPhone, and Google Play. So check the show out, please. And definitely send me a note. And if you have any questions on health and fitness or anything you want to ask me, go for it. And I'll always answer. Thank you for having me on the show, Randy.
Oh, thank you for coming on. It's no problem. I appreciate it. Everyone support Santana Fit and get to her social media platforms. Keep supporting her, and she's going to get bigger and bigger. Chris, and then Danny, give us your social media platforms where you want people to follow you at.
Hey, Christopher J. You can actually follow me on Instagram. You'll be able to, see some mentally stimulating content as well as my art, which is my haircuts. You can Unofficial MD. It's a great place to get laced at a King's Barbershop. That's where I cut at. Hey, if you need me to go ahead and touch up your crown and get cleaned up, just go ahead and hit me up. Like I said, at Unofficial MD. I also have my booking link on there too, so you can book an appointment if you're in the area.
Cool. Danny?
Okay. I have 2 Instagrams if you want to keep up with my modeling career.
Damn.
It's Danielle_Dorsey22. And my hair page, if you ever need a haircut, hair color, anything, it's beauty.by_Danny_Boo with 2 eyes.
And I'm your host on the True Radio, the Choo-on-that show, Mr. Randy Choo on Instagram. I can't log into my Facebook for some reason, but it's another day for another topic. Another topic for another day. But follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Also follow the radio show at True Radio. Just type that in all the social media platforms. It should pop up. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you listening to the show. I appreciate you guys tuning in. For those who have questions, who have suggestions on topics or anything, just hit us up. True Radio on social media. Or hit me personally on my Instagram, Mr. Randy Choo. We signing off now, and just want everyone to be safe, even though we goofed about the coronavirus. But we seriously take your health seriously, and take care of yourselves. And this is the time to reflect on the people you love and tell them you love them, give them their flowers while they're alive and not while they're gone. Rest in peace to Roger Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather's uncle died today at the age of 58. I personally met him in 2013 during the week that the weekend that Floyd fought Canelo. I was a guest of the money team at that time. They flew me down there, and I got to hang out with him and all that. I met Roger, got to spar in front of him. I sparred Keith Thurman, Adrian Broner, and a couple other pros that I sparred that day. And Roger gave me some great advice and said he was impressed with my skills. And he always had a smile on his face. So it's sad to see him go. And boxing played a role in that, breaking down the body. So I just want to say rest in peace to Roger Mayweather, and also rest in peace to Christopher J's grandfather. Never met him, but I've heard great things about him every time his name is brought up. Rest in peace to him, and rest in peace to anyone else who lost a loved one on today. Moment of silence, and God bless you. Good night. We out of here, and until next time, every Tuesday, the Choo-on-that show will be here, 8:30 to 10. Get at your boy, you dig?
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Boom. Yeah. Oh man.
How did y'all feel about the show tonight?
Whew.
Love it.
Cool.
Well, that was the blandest good I
Learn
ever
some
heard in my life.
things.
Huh?
So that was the blandest good that I ever heard in my life.
You said you learned some things?
Yeah.
What'd you learn?
That I need to forgive my last relationship in order to move on.
Hot dog.
Oh, she out here teaching lessons, Uncle Randy. That's crazy.
Hot
I
dog.
learned a lot of relationship advice.
Stick around.
That's it.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, stick around.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I'm still getting the rust off, so you know. Yeah. I'm still getting the rust off. So it was good. I appreciate y'all. Yes. Why isn't this allowing me to end?
8:30 this morning already.
Wow.
Yeah. Speaking of, it just happened to be someone that I should actually connect you with. I don't know if you probably don't know who he is. His name is Matt Rand.